Hey everyone, what's up? It's Raya and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below, give this video a like, and we'll get right on into the video. So in today's video, I just wanted to talk about my birth control story and just the timeline of everything that happened, how it made me feel, the side effects I experienced, all of that fun stuff that comes with birth control. I thought I could discuss it with you guys because I feel like not enough people talk about it openly. It's becoming more common to talk about, but I think we should really break that barrier and just talk about it because so many women are on birth control and so many women don't talk about all of their experiences with it. So I thought I could just say my experience to help anyone out there who may have had similar side effects or problems from their birth control. But before I go into my whole story with birth control, I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I am obviously not an expert. I'm not a physician, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor. I do not work in gynecology or women's reproductive health or anything like that. I'm in the medical industry, just a totally different side of everything. So I just want to put that out there. Today I'm just going to be talking about my experience, everything that happened to me, how it made me feel. This is no clinical knowledge. Everything I say isn't set in stone, like you should or shouldn't have this or should or shouldn't use this. It's nothing like that. I just wanted to get my experience out there because it would have been nice to hear from someone else before I started taking birth control. So don't take anything I say today as like the overarching truth of birth control. It's just my truth and my experience with it all. So I didn't start taking birth control until I was 18. I know a lot of people can start it really young. Many people I knew started around 16, 17, still in high school, but I started it right before I was going to college, around August of 2016, because I started college in September of 2016. So I went to talk to my doctor right before I started college, and I did have terrible cramps, and that's really why I wanted to go on birth control and have protection, because that's obviously always important. But I talked to her about going on a birth control method, and she talked to me about the different options that I had: the pill, the patch, the IUD, the NuvaRing, the arm implant. There's so many different kinds out there, and I decided to go for the pill because I knew I would be responsible enough to take it at the same time every day, because that is how it is most effective. I would just set an alarm on my phone, 9 p.m. every night, it would go off and I would know that I had to take it. So I knew I would be responsible enough to do it that way. I knew the pill is generally always free. So I just told her that I think that would be best for me. I got put on the brand Junalfe, and I didn't really notice anything terrible after I started taking it. I did experience increased stress, which wasn't great, but I also didn't know if that was from school because I just started college, and stress and college go hand in hand. I swear you can't have college without the stress. And my periods actually became more irregular after I started taking birth control, which was a bit weird. And I remember calling them about it, and they said that I had to wait about 3 or 4 months and then it should really even itself out. And I don't think it ever really ended up evening itself out on this pill specifically. But the Junalfe is a combination birth control. It has both estrogen and progesterone in it, and that's just the one that I was put on. I did notice that I had increased stress and anxiety. I had hair loss around that time, but I also went through something else where I had like stress-induced alopecia, so I had like a bald spot right there for a while. Also don't know if that's because of the pill or because of stress. I swear stress can cause so many problems in us, but I took that pill for quite a while. I would say it was over a year or right around a year, and I stopped taking it, and I don't even think I had a good reason to stop taking it the first time, but I just did. And this is something that I did that you definitely shouldn't do, is not talking to your doctor when you're gonna stop it, because I didn't talk to her when I said I was gonna stop it. I also didn't talk to her when I said I was gonna start it again. So I went off of it for a couple of months, and then I went right back on it because I just didn't want to use only condoms. I was a little scared. Pregnancy's scary when you're that young. So I decided to go back on it. And I made all these decisions by myself, which was not good, but I did it. And then I really realized that when I was off of it for the few months, my anxiety levels were low, really low. And once I got back on it, right back up again. So that was my answer to tell me that yes, it was birth control. No, it wasn't just me being crazy stressed through school. I had hormones that were causing it. So this next time that I decided to stop taking it, I actually did consult my doctor because they should know what's going on because they know a lot more about the reproductive system than I do. So I really consulted her this time. I explained that it caused a lot of stress for me. It caused irregular periods. This is very TMI, but I'm just gonna say it. I got a lot of yeast infections from taking hormonal birth control, and I was just saying all these concerns that I had, and she said, okay, before we say no to the pill at all, I will put you on a different one. And the pill that she decided to put me on this time was called low estrogen, which is the lowest dose of estrogen you can take in a day and still prevent pregnancy. It is 10 micrograms of estrogen. It's also a combination pill that has estrogen and progesterone in it, and you have to be under a certain weight or BMI to be able to take this birth control, and I was under that weight. So I decided to start taking this birth control instead because I trusted her. She said that it should probably reduce the anxiety that was coming from the hormones. So I decided to take that pill, and honestly, that was when it just was the worst. I had irregular periods again. I had increased anxiety, the most anxiety I've ever had in my whole life. And you go through stressful things all the time. And I wasn't even that stressed from school at the time because I started taking this new one in the summer, right before my junior or senior year of college. So I started taking it, and then everything just kind of went worse. I had increased anxiety again. My periods were irregular again, which was not great. It's really not great to not know when it's coming. Yeast infections came back like full swing. They're the worst. If anyone has ever experienced them or ever had them chronically, which is what I ended up having, and it sucks to say that, but I was having them at least once a month, which is insane. You definitely aren't supposed to have them that much. All of that terrible stuff started happening to me again. I remember one specific moment. I was sitting at a diner with Brett. We were going on a cute dinner date. It was really nice. I'm pretty sure I skipped class because I was too anxious to go or something. So we thought we would go to the diner to try and help, to just have like a mental health day, a cute date day. But it didn't end up being that way. I remember sitting across from him. We had just ordered our food, and I broke out in full-on tears. Just sitting there. I didn't have stress from school. Nothing was really going on at the time. I didn't have like a lot of homework or tests coming up. Nothing like that. I just started crying, and I remember telling him, I have no idea why I'm crying. I don't have a reason to be crying right now. Nothing in my life is bad. Nothing is stressful. This doesn't make any sense to me. Why am I crying? And that's when we talked about the birth control again, because this is like my third time of taking it, and he was suggesting maybe I should talk to my doctor again. And the part that really got me to consider getting off of it again was right around that time too. I remember I wanted to call my mom because I would try to call her weekly, but it got kind of hard to call her weekly because I would get busy and distracted, and then it'd be 10 p.m. before I would think about calling her, and I'm obviously not gonna call her at 10 p.m. on a weeknight. So I was going to call her one day, and I remember breaking down crying, saying I was too anxious to talk to my own mom, which just doesn't even make sense because I love my mom. I love talking to my mom. We always have great conversations, and I don't get why I was afraid, like legitimately afraid. The feeling in my chest was just like that tight ball full of tension, and I just couldn't get myself to call her. I couldn't get myself to talk to anyone. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to go see my friends, which is something you usually want to do in college to get away from everything. I didn't want to go to clubs. I didn't want to be involved anymore, which was hard because I was on executive board, so I had to be active in the clubs, and I just remember not wanting to do anything, and the anxiety was just having this terrible grip on me. So that's when I decided to go see my doctor again, and it was like Christmas break, so it was in December. I went to talk to her, and we had decided that hormonal birth control just wasn't for me because it did cause severe anxiety, like hindering my life anxiety. It did make my periods irregular, gave me terrible yeast infections, UTIs too. I remember getting those a lot, and I don't really get those now, so it was all because of those hormones. My body just couldn't handle having extra hormones in it. So I talked to her about other methods, and she said my only other option would be an IUD because that's the only method that doesn't really use hormones. And I watched this documentary on Netflix. I'll put the name here because it kind of jaded me in the medical device industry around women's reproductive health. It's terrible, but also like very eye-opening and very important to see, I think, to make an informed decision. So if you're a woman, if you're not a woman, if you're interested in the medical device company or terrible things that can happen behind closed doors, watch that documentary because it really changed how I looked at everything. But I decided I didn't want an IUD. She could tell I was very hesitant and had no solid answer. So she was like, I can tell you need more time to think about it. And I didn't really need more time. I knew I was gonna say no, but I said, yeah, I need more time. And I don't think I can make that decision today because I've had friends that have it and they absolutely love their IUD, never had a problem. But then I had a friend who got it, who was bleeding afterwards, who had severe cramps afterwards, who still got their period when they had it. Just overall had a terrible time with IUD. So I really just wanted to stay away from it, and I just decided that none of those birth control options were for me. Condoms, that still gives protection, still gives really good protection, and I'm in a committed relationship, so I wasn't as scared about making that decision. But after stopping birth control, I noticed that my anxiety decreased, like pretty much gone, actually. I've never really been an anxious person. I never was before birth control, and now I am sometimes, but I think that's just life stressors, not really anything else. And something I didn't know birth control did to me until after I stopped taking it was it made me gain weight. Didn't make me gain a significant amount of weight, but it was around 10 pounds. As soon as I stopped taking it completely, I dropped 10 pounds instantly, like less than a month, I swear. It all went away. I had no idea that it did that because I think it kind of did it progressively instead of like all at once, and it wasn't a lot, and I wasn't very big to begin with anyways, so I never really noticed until after I stopped taking it. So weight gain did happen. After getting off of it, I had terrible cramps again, which honestly worth it to me to not be on it anymore. And my period actually became regular again, which is great. I like knowing when it should come and all of that because we don't want any worries around here. No, thank you. That happened afterwards. And overall, I'm just really happy with my decision to stop taking it. I think it was the right decision for me, for sure. I feel way better. I don't feel as foggy, cloudy, or I don't feel controlled by it anymore, which was the really important thing. I feel like my life is a lot better without it. And if you have had a similar experience, a different experience, I would love to know down below in the comments. I would love to have an open conversation if you're comfortable sharing. And if you are having a similar experience to me, definitely talk to your doctor about it because they can have better answers for you. They can go through a different plan with you. Talk to your doctor before you stop taking it, start taking it, jumping all over the place. That's what I did, and you shouldn't do that. Please just talk to your doctor and get a professional's advice about it. That is my birth control story. I know it's not the craziest, but it made me feel crazy. And I forgot to mention that after I stopped taking it, I stopped getting yeast infections and UTIs regularly too, which was very nice. That has helped my life a lot and saved me a lot of money from buying medicine for that stuff. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I would love to talk to you down below about your experience with it all because it's really interesting to see how it works for some people, how it doesn't work for others, the different methods that people use, and their different stories behind it. So I'd love to talk to you. If you are having a similar experience to me, definitely talk to your doctor. If you want to change birth controls, if you want to start it, if you want to stop it, talk to your doctor. Please talk to your doctor about anything that you're about to do. And if you want to stop it and they try to give you other options and you just don't want it, just say no because they can't make you. And that's what I did. So I just wanted to get my story out there for anyone that might be thinking about taking it or stopping it and just needing a different perspective on it all. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe down below, give this video a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!